A very charming morning, students. A very warm welcome to you all. Let us begin our classes with a great enthusiasm. So, today we are going to start with the first chapter of history called Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. As the name suggests, we are going to learn about the modifications which took place along with the passage of time. Before starting off, I am going to introduce you all with a new term called cartographer. A cartographer is a person who makes maps. Understood? So, now I am going to show you two maps and you all need to look at it very carefully. This is map first and this is map second. You all would be very surprised to know that both of these maps are of the same areas. Let us study the reasons for the differences here. First map was made in 1154 CE by the Arab geographer Al-Idrisi. The section represented here is a detail of the Indian subcontinent from his larger map of the world. Children, from subcontinent I mean a large mass or area of particular continent, and India is a part of Asia continent, right? In this map, South India is where we would expect to find North India, and Sri Lanka is the island at the top. Also, place names are marked in Arabic, whereas map 2 was made 600 years after the first map, during which time information had changed a lot. This map seems more familiar, and the coastal areas in particular are surprisingly detailed. Now you all must be thinking, what are coastal areas? Let me tell you, it is the area of land that is close to the sea. Understood? This map was used by European sailors on their journeys. It is important to note the fact that the science of cartography differed in both periods. When historians read documents, maps, and texts from the past, they had to consider the different historical backgrounds in which information was produced. Now, let us study about new and old terminologies. We all are known to the fact that historical records exist in a variety of languages, which have changed significantly over the years. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Medieval Persian is different from modern Persian. The difference cannot only be seen in grammar and vocabulary, but also in the meanings of the words. For instance, take the term Hindustan. Today, we understand it as India, the modern nation state. But when the term was used in 13th century by Minhaj Shiraz, a person who wrote accounts of important historical events in Persian, he meant the areas of Punjab, Haryana, and the lands between the Ganga and Yamuna. He used the term in a political sense for lands that were under the control of the Delhi Sultan. The areas included in this term shifted with the extent of the Sultanate, but the term never included South India. By shifting, I mean with the expansion of the rule, more areas came under this term. However, In the early 16th century, Babur used Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna, which is the animals or wildlife of a particular area. He also described it as the culture of the inhabitants of the subcontinent. While the term Hindustan did not carry the political and national meanings which we associate with it today. Historians today have to be careful about the terms they use because they meant different things in the past. For example, the word foreigner is used today to mean someone who is not an Indian. But in the medieval period, a foreigner was any stranger who appeared in a given village, someone who was not a part of that society or culture. In Hindi, the term Pardesi might be used to describe such a person, and in Persian it is Ajnabi. This means that a city person might have regarded a village person as a foreigner, but two farmers could not use this term to describe each other even if they belonged to different castes or followed different religions.